What's up, everybody? Welcome to a new episode of Random Nerdy Shit. Sorry, that was
Wait, we were not going to pretend that the opening happened?
the opening did happen. I just put it in right before, so it's all
Not that
good.
I'm aware of.
So that's what I do. So, anyways, sorry about that. That was kind of
Loud.
rude. I just kind of took a drink, and then you can just hear me sipping shit and like that. But anyways, how is everybody doing? How you doing, Lewis? How's the flood going on in Florida?
First of all, I don't know what you're talking about a flood.
It's funny though because I text you because Rachel, my wife, she was like, you should check up on Lewis, man. Like the flood there, it looks kind of severe. I was like, listen, we lived in Florida for like 4 or 5 years,
We've dealt with
and
a lot of flooding.
the news always exaggerates what is actually happening in there, right? It's not as bad as the news make it out to be. Because remember when I think it was Maria when first moved there in 2017. When that happened, they're just like, "Oh my God, Florida's under fucking water." And then we came back the Monday because it just lasted for the weekend. We came back on the Monday, and people were like walking their dog. They're having a jog and everything. I'm like, "Where's the fucking flood, man?" They just exaggerated everything. And I asked you what happened. You're like, "Oh, I just stayed home." Like you weren't open, so
I
stayed home.
mean, I was told I could stay home, so I stayed home.
I mean, to be fair, there was a lot of wind and all that stuff. I mean, they could have shattered the window too as well, based on where we were. Because like where the store was located, it would have never flooded because there was the Everglades was there, like right in front of us. You remember, right? The Everglades is
Yeah,
right there, so it would
I
never
get.
it would
What
have
do you
never flood.
mean?
Yeah, it
I
would have
lived
never
in that
flood.
location. You didn't.
Yeah, no, I'm saying is like it would have never floods, right? Oh yeah, you did live in that connection with your sister. Like
Yeah.
so it would have never flood, and plus it was a brand new area, so it was like flood proof. The only thing that would probably surface is fucking gators and shit. And that was about it, right? And probably not
Well,
even then. Probably not
eventually,
even then, right?
uh, invasive iguana species
Yeah.
probably would have came out.
So my wife told me like check up on Lewis and make sure he's okay. So I like check up on you. I like text you, and I was like, "Yo, how's the flood there?" He's like, "What flood?" I was like, "Well, he's fine."
I even
and then you
sent you a
said,
picture. You mean that puddle?
and then you sent me a picture, and it was like the parking lot from Nowhere Toys, and it's like fucking like it looks like nothing that the fucking news is reporting at all, man, at all.
No. You know
It's
what
like a
stinks? You
it
know
was
what
a
stinks
drizzle.
about the I hate because recently there was a report that because of the flooding, it interrupted gas trucks from shipping gas down here. So
Also,
what is the one thing that people do every time they hear that gas shortage
they
or
fucking
no gas?
they panic and they line up in the gas station and shit.
It's going to be fixed in 2 days from now. Now,
But
but
they
now, thanks to everybody filling up their cars
yeah,
simultaneously,
yeah,
now there's a real gas shortage
and they do it all the time. They do it
all the
all
time.
the time, all the
It
time,
it
man.
should honestly, it should be illegal because that's not reporting the news. You're just pushing sales.
Yeah,
It
it
it's
is.
every
It is.
time that this happens, it's basically like this incredible Black Friday deal.
It is. It is. It is.
Dude,
And
it's
the
like
markup that the gas station do on
they
those
they
gas is like
they
insane.
don't have to mark up. You know for a fact they don't. They can't even respond fast enough for a markup. It just
Yeah.
sells. And then they just buy. You know what stinks about that? It's just like because when they renew to buy a new tank of gas, they always are now forced to buy a higher price, and that's why
Right.
prices go up. It's because normally they have enough in reserves in their own like station
Right.
to like wait for the prices like go down, and that's what they bought it for. So that's the price that they're gonna stay with. No,
Right.
thanks to you assholes, now the price is gonna be bought at like the extortionary price. You're fucking dicks. Every fucking time, how people don't know how, like, any of this
Oh
shit
my god.
works. It's
Yeah.
always panic buying. It's
Uh
always stupid people.
yeah. So before we
Drive
move forward
less.
before we move forward on this podcast here, just want to remind everybody our sponsor for our podcast is Drip Shop Live. Sign up at Drip Shop Live right now and receive a $15 free credits. The link is on the description there on our podcast, both here on Spotify and on our YouTube channel too as well. Just click the link there and receive a $15 credit on your first purchase. Drip Shop Live is a live selling platform for collectors by collectors. Um, so I checked up on you and see that if everything was okay and you were fine and all that stuff. And then
Unironically.
and then I will and then you know what I did after that is that I checked the Nowhere Toys Instagram because you don't have any Instagram. You have no social media whatsoever.
Those accounts exist, but are they used? No.
Yeah, which by the way, we should still do
The the
the
the
Easter egg hunt.
scavenger hunt
Yeah, the
thing
scavenger hunt.
that makes
And then
Sylvia
and
level
then probably
13.
have this as a prize. There's ASM 252 9.4
If
CGC. Have
if
that as a
if
prize.
if you want
If
to.
you find Lewis, you can get that as a prize, right?
So hints, it will be under my name. It will be a random number, and because I think it was hacked at some point, it's gonna be a very hot Russian woman.
But you but you know, Lewis, if you type in your name, your full name and a random number, they will still it would still pop up your name. Right? It would still pop up and they can find you that way.
They would have to learn how to spell my last name. Apparently, from what I've heard,
I'm not gonna
my
lie,
la-
that's actually true. Till
my
this
last
day,
name is
till,
uncommon.
till this day, till this day, I will tell everyone right now listening and watching this right now, till this day, on my phone, it says Lewis Volunteer. Because this is when, so I'll give you a quick backstory why it says Lewis Volunteer. When we first started in 2017, Lewis was like just a customer of ours who just like that just comes around the store, and we had an employee named Matt. Thought that he was kind of weird because he was just like just coming around and not purchasing
From the
anything.
one person that was probably the weirdest person.
Yeah, and then because there was two people that he thought that was weird. Okay, there was two people that he thought that was weird, right? uh Taco, Tim Comics, Tony Comics. He's just showing us his phone, and I'm under Tim Comics.
I
So,
didn't dox anybody. There was no numbers, baby.
so essentially, he would come into the store, and he would just look at the books and all that stuff in there. And then, what ended up happening
I
was,
remember. I vividly remember telling you like every variant version of and main copy of Flash. Get it for me.
yeah, you get it from yeah, you
You
wanted all the Flash.
still got me the main cover
But that wasn't me. That was Matt's fault. That was Matt's fault because he was in charge of that. So
every
so okay,
time.
so this what happened. Okay, so he just wanted all Flash and all that stuff. So according to Matt, there was two weird people there. That was Lewis and there was Kevin. Now this is
A blind
before
Kevin.
this is before we thought we didn't know Kevin was blind. So
So
he would
he
come to the
thought
store.
the most sociable people were weird.
Yeah, yeah. So okay, hold on. So let me tell the story. So Kevin would come in and he would look at the books, but since we didn't know he was blind, he would actually take the book and put
Put
it
it
right
right
up
in
against
front of
his
his face.
face. Right in front of his face because he's so nearsighted. Like he's not blind, he's just very, very, very nearsighted.
Impaired. Yeah.
Right? So he has to put it right directly in his face. And then all of a sudden he would just giggle and go hee 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 hee. And we were just like, what is wrong with that kid, right?
Who was the one that asked him why he does that? Was
It
it
was
me?
Matt. It was
It was
Matt.
Matt? Oh,
It was Matt. It was Matt. He's the one who told him that, and then we're like, oh shit, he's blind.
no,
Uh,
okay.
and then so essentially, Lewis came around, and then we needed an extra hand. We were gonna hire Lewis, but then another person actually pretty much applied for us, and I forgot his name. The guy who almost murdered us. I forgot his name.
Christian?
I think it was Christian. Yes, it was like
Because
Christian number one. Christian number
Christian
one.
number one,
Christian number one. Yeah.
I thought you were friends with him for way
No, man.
longer.
So this is why we thought that we were actually
But
gonna get.
by the way, The murder would have been your fault.
Okay, so this is why we thought that we were actually gonna get murdered, and this is
I've told
funny,
this
man,
story.
because we went
I've
from a
told
story
it.
because we
I've,
went from a story of just like trying to tell a story of like how why is Lewis name still Lewis Volunteer to now why are we gonna get murdered somehow. So this is what
but by
happened.
the way, I've told the story to a lot of people.
Yeah,
I keep telling them we were very lucky.
yeah. So this is what the story goes. Okay, this is how we almost got murdered. Okay, so we have this guy named
What do you mean
Christian.
we? He would have killed you, not me.
So we have this
I
guy
had
named
nothing to do
Chris.
with this we shit.
We have this guy named Christian, and he was a former Marines or in the army, somewhere like
I
that.
think
It was somewhere in the
because
army.
it was Marines or Navy. That's the hard bit.
No, no, he had guns. Navies don't have guns.
Then
It was like I
you
think
have to be
Marine. Well,
you
let's
have to
go
be
with
a
Marine.
Marine.
I think he was the
Yeah,
Marine.
it's
Yeah, he was a
safer.
former
And I
Marine,
think
right?
everybody has guns. I think you're forced through basic to
Yeah.
take
So he was a
gunmanship.
so he was a former Marine, and we hired him as a help there, right? But the thing was, his performance was his performance was sucky, man. It was sucks. But sometimes in the store when it's down, we have a computer there. So we would just go in the computer and just kind of like diddle daddle in the computer. This man uh, made a cardinal sin, and that cardinal sin, ladies and gentlemen, is that he left his Facebook up and logged in.
You
Right.
know, I once did that who I thought was my best friends.
Hmm.
Did the exact same you did.
So, so as you guys know, when somebody has their face true, it's up for grabs, right? It's up for grabs for anybody. It's a rule. It's a cardinal rule.
If
If you
if
leave your social media up and logged in, you that is a signal for everybody to mess with you. 100%.
hey man, that
100%.
don't look at me.
Okay.
I had
No,
no stakes in that
if
game. It
if
was
you
between
don't
you and
want
Matt.
look, listen, if you don't want your social media to be messed up and hacked by fucking people, don't leave it logged in. That's
That's
just
not even
that's
hacking.
that's that's just a rule. And not only that he left it logged in, but this was at the store. This is at your workplace, right? So I don't really care if you go to social media. It's just that it's just fun to mess around with them. So what we did was it was Matt who typed it in. It was my suggestion, but Matt is the one who typed this in. Okay, Matt is the one who typed this in, and Matt said, and I said, why
You
don't
sound
you?
like a cult leader. I
I
just
said,
made suggestions.
so I said, why don't you put, hey guys, I got something to tell you. I'm coming out. I am gay. Okay, and it wasn't even
That
bad. It wasn't
that
even. It wasn't even horrible. It was
and
fine, right? But here, hold on.
the reception to it
But
was
but
what
let me
made
finish
it
the story.
so
Okay,
funny.
let me finish the story of this. Okay, so it wasn't even that bad. Okay, we just said I'm coming out. I'm gay. That's it. It wasn't even that bad. And he wasn't around at the time. I think he was in the bathroom. And then all of a sudden, without knowledge, we were just like talking, came back from the bathroom. He checked his phone and he goes, huh. And then he's like, huh. Give me a second, guys. Just make a phone call. We're just like, oh fuck. Oh fuck. Something's going on. He's like, oh. And then he's like, he looks like he's in distress. He's like, oh man. He's like, why? I don't know, man. I think my Facebook got hacked. And then I was like, yeah, you left your Facebook in here, man. We're like, look, we're just messing with you. He's like, you guys fucking put that in? He logged out of there, and the look in his face just looks like he was about to fucking murder us. Like it looks like he has a gun, and he was about to go in his car and shoot us up. Like
And
it
go to
looked
his little car gun
it
save.
looked
Remove
murderous.
the clip.
Like I'm telling you, it looks murderous. Okay,
He's gonna go
so
through the 3-step system.
he started going. He's like, dude, that was not funny, man. Like my fucking mom asked me, he's like, "Yo, is there something you need to tell us?" And it's like people are messaging me, "I'm so glad you finally came out." And then like he's like, "I have friends saying I knew it all along." That was the
So
funny
funny.
part. The reception was funny. I was like,
The
like,
reception was so
like
positive.
he
The
was
reception
so
was so positive. It got so funny so fast.
he was so mad that it was so hard not to laugh based on what he was telling us the reception was, right? So I really
He has such a like a a wholesome friend base and family.
and this guy was like a hardcore Christian too and everything. And then like
Uh,
somebody he told us
it
somebody
but
messaged him
the problem
saying
is and
uh,
he listen to Justin Bieber or something like that. It was something like
and
the
it was fun.
messages.
It was funny because somebody messaged him saying that we love you no matter what. It's like it wasn't that bad. But the thing is that we didn't account for that this man was a former Marine and he's like a man of God. Like he was like a God fearing
Christian.
Christian person, right? So he was like got mad. He was like really mad. And we're like, we're gonna fucking die tomorrow. And then I think you said or Matt said, well, glad I'm not working tomorrow. That was you.
It's
Oh my
like,
god.
"You fucked up. I will be here."
Oh my god. I
And then you hit
really
me with like, "What do you mean?"
I was like I really thought that you was gonna fucking kill people.
We'll kill you and probably Matt first while you watched.
It wasn't even that bad. Okay, it wasn't even that bad. Jeez, man. And there was like 2017. God, man. He just overreacted and whatnot. And then we hired another Christian, which fucking guy bailed on us, man. Like without even knowledge, man. That was just messed up. Like he bailed on us. Like he's like, "Oh, I'm going to Orlando," and then he just never fucking came back.
I
He
think
never
he
showed
said
up for his. He never showed up for his shift. We tried calling him. Remember, we tried calling him.
I yeah, no, he never picked up. I think what he meant by like I'm going to Orlando is I'm going to move to Orlando.
No, he said that he was moving to Orlando, but he's just going to Orlando for the weekend. He never said that he was moving that day. He just never showed up, man.
To be honest, I think he probably did. And if he
He, never-
didn't,
he,
just
he just never showed up. So I'm just like, all right, cool, man. I don't fucking care.
that's about it.
I don't really
We
care.
moved
That's fine.
on.
Yeah, we were just done about it, but well, who cares, man? It
It
does,
is
doesn't
what it
really.
is.
Okay, so I want to ask you, Lewis,
Hmm.
what's going on with the hair, man? Your hair, like you just fucking cut your hair, like
Yeah,
like last podcast, your hair was fucking up to your boobs. Like you literally could have started a OnlyFans and just tease people with lewd fucking photos. And now it's like, what happened, man? Why'd you cut it? What happened?
you know, funny thing that you should ask me this today because I went to the sushi restaurant that I always go to. The
Hmm.
sushi chef doesn't
Hmm.
talk.
Yeah,
I've never seen someone like just work in silence
yeah.
for like 6+ hours.
Hmm.
And then
Yeah.
he's like, "Oh, hey, man, you didn't bring your friends this time, huh?" It's like,
Uh-huh. Right.
I've been coming here for like 3 years and I've never heard you speak. And it's like, nah, it's Sunday. So, like, a lot of my friends are not around. So, I decided to come. I like this place. It's
Yeah.
chill. I ate.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, one last question. What happened to your hair? This man, everybody is so invested in my hair. Even the man that I've never heard speak one
Uh-huh.
time to me
Uh-huh.
in 3 years of going to this restaurant knows who
Yeah.
I am because everybody else does.
Yeah.
Only care. Like, the real question was the hair. It's like,
Because I mean, like, it looks different. I mean, like, I'm used to your hair being like that. Don't get me wrong. I wasn't used to your hair being so long because you've never had your hair that long before, right?
I
So I
mean,
wasn't. I wasn't used to that. It's just that I wasn't used to your hair being that long. I saw it long, and then all of a sudden, it just came back to
you
this.
you were
Now,
used to like shaggy long hair.
no, not that long. Not that long.
Not like Fabio long, but shaggy.
Yeah, that not that long, but so
Aw.
essentially, essentially, it makes me think of two things. One, they force you to, not two things, three things. One, they force you to cut your hair, which is your work. Number two, you lost a bet, and number three, there is a girl in your life. What's going on?
Neither of the try. I just decided to get a haircut. I mean, like,
That's
I've either gotten good reception or the reception was just
You know
it's
how
like
weird you know how horrible and weird that is, Lewis, that if you just do things out of character, even if it's not as bad, it's not even as bad. Like for example, you've always used a fork to eat, and then all of a sudden we see you using a spoon. We're like, what is going on? Why
you
are you
gotta
using a
use
spoon?
what you got around you, bro.
It's just something about your aura or your presence that if you do something so minuscule, it's such a big deal, and it's something that needs to be talked about. Even though you're just like, I just needed to cut my hair, man.
And sometimes you can't really eat soup with a
Yeah,
fork.
yeah. It's like I'm just eating a spoon, man. Like it's just kind of odd. So you just wanted a haircut, and that's it.
Yeah.
Okay, my second question:
Mm,
Was it from our barber?
no. Uh,
What the fuck happened to him, man?
I think he died, man.
I mean, I know I have his phone number. I gave it to you.
I think I got him on the Ray Barber. He ain't gonna pick up my fucking phone call
So
though.
if you guys don't know, if you guys haven't been around a podcast long enough,
Yeah, but
Lewis and I share a barber.
really
Back
good one.
back in the day, there was a barber shop right beside the store that we had, and we shared a barber in there. Many stories with the barber, but the main story with the barber is that the barber shop is always empty. Has always been empty, and for some reason they're just there. But we do see people come in and out, like
All
in
the
and out of
time.
that place all the time without getting their haircuts. Without getting
Oh,
their
by the
haircut.
way, update to that lore. No longer there. It's now another boutique. I think I've said this,
Yeah, yeah, you said it before. Yeah, you told me
but still
before.
another boutique. Those boutiques. So look, if we thought that barbershop was a drug front,
Mhm.
those boutiques are definitely drug
So,
fronts.
so getting back to that barbershop. So people go in and out of that barbershop without even getting a haircut. And we've always had a theory that this barbershop might be a drop off and pickup place for like just anything illegal, right?
That or just weed.
Or just weed,
I
right? Or
think it's
just
just
weed.
weed. I
And
think it was
then on our final day, when we sold the store, on our final day, when we were just trying to get everything settled in, and Lewis was just gonna be like, "I'm gonna get my haircut for the last time in this place. I don't know when's the last time I'm gonna be here." He goes and gets a haircut, comes back and goes, "Yo, Tim, remember that theory that we have about the barber place?" I was like, "Yeah, it's all true."
they
I'm
were
like,
they,
"How?" It's
they
like,
were trying
"How
to.
is it?" Yeah,
He
he's like,
asked me if
"How
I
is it
wanted to buy
true?"
weed.
Yeah, it's like, how is it true? He's like, well, he asked me, our barber asked me if he wanted to buy weed. It's like, what? It's like, yeah, those people coming in and out, they're here for weed, man. So I'm like, oh, okay. I mean, it's very Miami,
You
kind
know, I'm
of.
very happy that we did get like an ending to the story
Yeah, it
because
was.
if we could never figure it out, we would have never brought this up.
We
There
would
would.
never known. We
It's
would have
like
never known.
watching Game of Thrones, and they
Yeah,
didn't even bother to finish the final season.
and
It
this
was
guy was
just
like, and this guy
two
was
episodes
like,
in.
yeah, and this guy was like the most amazing barber ever, man. Like
I would go
he
back.
was
I would go back to him in a heartbeat.
Man, he was fucking amazing. He takes care of you. Like he knows how to cut properly,
He
man.
he remembers everybody's like if you have like sensitive skin and
Yeah,
or like
he
you're
knows.
you don't use certain products for your stuff,
Yeah.
he remembers that shit.
Yeah, I mean like the guy
He
that I
was
have, yeah, like if you want and this is the honest truth, if you want your hair cut properly, get a fucking Cuban to do it, man. They're fucking amazing, man. He
not
was
everyone, but when you find your gold nugget, you stay with
Yeah.
him.
He was really good. The closest thing that I have right now is my barber right now in California, here in California in Bakersfield. He's Puerto Rican. And I told him about my barber
Miami.
in Miami, and he's like, "Man, he sounds a good guy." And then you know what he's doing to my hair right now? He knows my hair is kind of like, kind of short and thinning kind of stuff. he makes it so that there is no like hairline or anything. Like
No,
he just
no gaps. It's
like
just
like
kind of
no
like
gaps, no nothing, man. Like it's just so smooth. And I was
symmetry.
like I'm like, fuck, man. I've been looking for you all my life, man. I'm like, since I moved here, I've been looking for you, man.
It's like, how do you
And
know my hair type?
yeah, and I've never and like I went on 3 months because I was busy and a lot of things were happening for 3 months and I've never gotten a haircut. I did not get a haircut at all. My neighbors were like, dude, like we haven't seen you like come out of the house. You come out of the house looking like you're like Bruce Lee and stuff, man. Like you have long ass hair. Like, well, what was that thing that we used to call Lewis when you haven't gotten a haircut and you look homeless? Homeless chic.
Hobo,
Homeless chic. Yeah,
homeless chic,
yeah, it
hobo
was
chic.
homeless chic. No, it was
Oh, I
homeless
think it was
chic.
homeless chic.
It was homeless chic.
Yeah,
I'm looking like homeless chic, right? Uh, but yeah, I didn't get a haircut until like I met up with him because like he was like busy and all that stuff. So, um, that's the Miami, that's the Miami adventures that we fucking do. It just
you,
seems like with all these stories, it just seems like we don't do shit in my in our
you
comic
know
book
what I
store, man.
found funny that like it was an invasive thought when I said homeless chic all those years ago.
Uh-huh.
Remember my almost the one movie where like the two individuals like try to like get together when they were younger, didn't work out, they moved on with their lives. Keanu Reeves was in it.
What movie? What movie?
My almost maybe.
I almost maybe.
Give me a
Keanu Reeves
second.
was in it.
Yeah, give me a
Oh
second.
no, you're talking about Always Be My Maybe.
Always be my maybe. Yeah.
Yeah, that movie is amazing. It's
During when he
amazing.
appeared, like the restaurant, super fancy restaurant was like,
Mm.
oh no, 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 no. Looking fancy is like old and done. Now
Yeah.
people all they do is find what homeless people wear and
Yeah, oh yeah, that's right, dude. We were ahead of our time, man. We were ahead
homeless
of our
chic.
time. Yeah,
We're
homeless
we're
chic was ahead of our time, man.
we're a few years too far ahead.
Did you know that that movie he was filming John Wick 3 in the middle of that scene? So you know the scene that he has on Always Be My Maybe.
Is
Um,
that why he was like looked like he was amped up on adrenaline levels?
yeah, so Ali Wong was doing an interview and she's like, you know what, Keanu Reeves was like the nicest person ever. I mean, like everyone knows that, but he was really the nicest person ever. He's like, we wanted two actors. We had two actors in mind to play his part, but we're like, let's take a shot at it and just let's ask Keanu Reeves and see he'll do it. If he doesn't do it, of course, you know, it's expected. He's busy. And they asked Keanu Reeves, he's like, I'll do it. He's like, I'll do it. And we were just like, what? And they were like amazed that he's actually gonna do it. And what he
They
did was,
probably told him like, "What's the premise?" Well, you're going to be this famous person's rebound boyfriend.
yeah,
You're going to at some point try to get into a fight with the main protagonist. It's like, yeah,
yeah.
okay,
It was like the craziest thing. And then apparently they had a small break in in the middle
production.
of John Wick, in the middle of John Wick. Because essentially she said that he said he agreed to do it, but they were gonna do it. They were gonna start filming in the middle of John Wick when he's filming it. So they said that if he doesn't end up doing it, we'll do that scene, the very last scene, and we'll film it with somebody else or film it with him after they film John Wick. But they caught a break, and there was a small break in John Wick 3. And he's like, okay, I'm gonna go do that scene. I'll fly over. He flew over from New York to Vancouver, where they were filming Always Be My Maybe, to just film his scene and then go back to John Wick. Like
Yeah, it was probably like a 4 hour day for him, and then he just left.
that's crazy. But you had a break. That's the thing. He instead of just taking a break, he's like, no, I'm gonna go ahead and film that
I,
random scene. And
for John Wick 3, he had to look like extra shit towards the end.
yeah,
So
so that's
back
why
to
when
back
you
jet lag.
yeah, that's why when you see Keanu Reeves in Always Be My Maybe, that's the same look as in John Wick. That's why they had to incorporate the whole homeless look kind of thing because if they don't want to like ruin his look for John Wick, because in John Wick he has to look like he's been brutally like in this fight and brutally been beat up and all that stuff. So they
Oh, I
want
didn't know you needed glasses. Nah, no lenses.
no lenses in there. It's still, you know what I'm looking forward to is the sequel to Crazy Rich Asian.
Oh yeah, I forgot. I haven't watched that movie yet. I heard it got really great
You
reviews.
haven't seen Crazy Rich Asian, you
Bro,
racist.
I haven't seen a lot of movies.
So
I barely went to Tuesday for the $5 Tuesday to watch the Mario film.
yeah, so the sequel is called Crazy Rich Ex Girlfriend. I think that was
Crazy
the
Rich Ex-Asian Girlfriend or just
no,
Girlfriend?
just ex girlfriend. Why does it have to be Asian? Just because it's all Asian, you're
Why
just gonna be put
why
Asian in
couldn't
there?
they just call it Crazy Rich?
Why can't it just be like Crazy Girlfriend, Rich Girlfriend? What's wrong with that? I mean, like, why you gotta be go racist for? So it's called Crazy Rich Girlfriend. It is a Crazy Rich Asian Girlfriend, by the way.
Oh, fuck you. You can suck mine.
So anyway,
You are a hypocrite monster.
oh my god. So, anyways, the sequel is supposed to be that she finds out who her dad is, and they're gonna go back to China. And what they found out is that her dad is just not uh rich, but she was old, old money rich.
Like
Like like
imperial like
like
family
imperial
rare.
fucking rich, right? So there's rich and then there's wealthy. But then there is
Like
another form of wealthy that is like generational called old rich
and to
or
keep
old
that is
wealth.
actually is very hard unironically.
So the only old wealth that a lot of people know of is very popularized is the Rockefellers, right? The Rockefellers are old wealth, right?
They
That's
generate a lot of income by doing nothing, so
yeah. So old wealth is Rockefellers. Okay. So she came from a long line of old wealth, Chinese wealth too, as well. Not just old wealth, but Chinese wealth. Right. Like generations of her line are like rich. So that was supposed to be the premise of the sequel. So,
people with so
um,
much money that they can't do anything with it.
yeah. So they just don't know what to do with it. But speaking of sequels, did you see the Captain Marvel trailer
The
that came out?
Marvels?
Look, it's Captain Marvel, man. You can they can call it whatever they want, but it's Captain Marvel movie,
I've
man.
I've I've been done with MCU movies for a while now. I just don't care about them.
A lot
It's
of
too many.
a lot of people are
It
saying that.
it's too watered down. It's the problem with like it's just too much content. You know what I mean? It's just it's a lot of like you could have spaced this out a little bit more, maybe worked on it a little bit more, maybe polish it.
Yeah,
Thor
just
Love Love and Thunder didn't get canceled, but Batgirls did. How
yeah.
dare you cancel anything with Brandon Fraser in it?
Before we move forward on the breaking down this trailers for we're going to be talking about the Marvel trailers, Marvel Studios MCU trailers. Before we move forward to that, just a reminder to everybody, our sponsor for today's podcast is dripshop.live. Sign up at dripshop.live right now and receive $15 credits free on your first purchase. The link is in the bio here on Spotify as well as on our YouTube channel. Again, Drip Shop Live is a live selling app built by collectors for collectors. So essentially, the Marvels trailer didn't really excite me too much. Right, it didn't excite me too much. I see the connection that they did with the Miss Marvel to Marvels, the Marvels, and it's not nothing against Brie Larson. Brie Larson is a good actress when she was in Room. Right, I saw Room. It's a really good movie. But Captain Marvel, I don't know, man. She doesn't convince me as Captain Marvel. I don't know why. I don't know why. I think it could have been played by Charlize Theron, and she would have been amazing as Captain Marvel. Won't you think? She would have been amazing as Captain Marvel as Carol Danvers. You don't know who
Charlize,
You don't know who Charlize Theron is? You'll know who Charlize Theron is. Come on, man.
if I have a picture in front of me.
Okay, okay. He's searching it right now.
Ah,
Charlize Theron.
No, no, no,
Epron.
no, no. It's already. Yeah, no, I get. Yeah, she has the attitude.
She would be great, right? She would have been great, but it just doesn't convince me. But it doesn't get me excited enough to watch it. It doesn't get me excited to the point that I want to get off my couch and watch it in the movie theaters. It just got me excited to the fact that I just want the story of Miss Marvel to continue because of how it ended. Does that make sense? Do you know what I'm talking about?
I
Like,
guess.
because I just want to know what happened. Like, why are they switching bodies? That's all I. That's all I want. I really wanted.
It's probably not going to be satisfying. I'm going to be honest.
Yeah, so that's why that's why I'm saying I just want that story to conclude. It doesn't like get me excited enough to be like, oh yeah, this is gonna lead up to this is the lead up to Secret Invasions. I think it was. It
You,
is the lead up to.
have you have you noticed that like the scrolls are like compare like they do this a lot in the MCU, but comparatively compared to just scrolls in general, they're
Uh-huh.
extremely weak.
And they're not even a weak species, too, man.
No, they're like one of two of the oldest species that exist in the universe.
I get you. Yeah, I get what you're saying. I feel like the MCU made him like a secondary villain. Is that what you're
Yeah,
trying to
yeah,
get to?
yeah, and the problem is that it the ones that invade other planets are not
Hmm.
regular generic scrolls, they're super scrolls.
Yeah,
The
they're
ones
super
that
scrolls.
imitate your body, your
Yeah,
memories, your ideas, your
yeah,
feelings to perfectly integrate themselves.
yeah.
So when they're in the right positions to take over the planet,
Mhm.
then they bring the horde.
I just think that you are right. They made the scrolls like a secondary character, even though like they're a very powerful race. And
I almost feel tertiary.
but the thing is that they
They're
just
not
kept it
even the
with
main villain. They just
yeah
exist.
they just kept it within the Captain Marvel
Universe.
world. Yeah, they
And
just
they're
kept it
trying to
there.
do Secret War, but it's just Nick Fury?
You mean Secret Invasion? Yeah, they're
Secret
just
Invasion, I'm sorry, yeah.
yeah, it's just Nick Fury thing, and then like he's back apparently from space.
I
You
didn't even
know,
know he was gone. I don't even somehow keep up with the lore with that man.
let me ask you this: do you think they're gonna replace Nick Fury?
With a white one?
That's going to be the most controversial thing because like there's a lot of people that grew up with the black Nick Fury through the MCU, but not knowing that Nick Fury was white before.
Originally
But
white, then became the black Nick Fury,
yeah,
which
yeah,
it was basically the same Nick Fury. All they
yeah,
did was a color change.
yeah. Well, the Nick Fury, the white one, the white Nick Fury became the Watcher. That's why, with that one eye and all that stuff. But
Yeah,
do you think that they're going to replace Samuel Jackson with another Nick Fury?
I don't think so.
Because remember, all the Phase One
The-
MCU characters are aging right now, so essentially they
yeah,
have to replace them somehow. Like Don Cheadle cannot be James Rhodes all the time. Like what's gonna happen in the Armor Wars. You know what's gonna happen. He's probably gonna die somehow.
I mean, he is the second
He's
actor.
gonna he's gonna probably die somehow. The only reason why in Ant Man, what's his name, didn't die. What's his name? Paul Rudd. The only reason why Paul Rudd didn't die because he's fucking ageless. Okay, this man does
He
not
ages like
age.
Keanu
He
phenomenally.
he ages backwards. Okay, so this man is not gonna age. So they're gonna keep him around, right? Even Evangelina Lilly, I think that's her name, the Wasp. She looks older than Paul Rudd in Quantumania. Did you notice that? Like she looks way older than him after like one Ant Man movie. Like she looked younger in the second Ant-Man movie, the Ant-Man and the Wasp. Look younger. This version, she looks a lot older than him, and he looks like he never aged.
I
It's it's
guess,
it's
but
crazy.
I've not been like I've been so jaded at this point.
It's
Oh,
like the whole
cool, another MCU film.
it's like a whole Keanu Reeves and his girlfriend. Like he is older than Keanu Reeves' girlfriend. Keanu Reeves is older than his girlfriend.
Man, just some people were meant to age super slowly, though.
Some people are just genetically just superior than anybody else, man. Like
Man,
they're just that way. But
yeah, Look at me. I'm what, 33 this year.
Uh-huh. There you go. So
Some people just don't believe it.
but yeah, no, the Marvels didn't do anything for me. But you know what did something though? What got me off my seat that I'm probably gonna see in the movie theaters. You know what I'm about to say, right?
Hopefully something that won't get us canceled after getting a.
Across the Spider Verse, man.
Oh yeah, I'm very excited to watch that.
Miles Morales, man.
Mayday Parker, baby.
My God, man. I I
What
I
a
I
deep cut.
I could never imagine
One more
in
day.
I could never imagine in my lifetime that I would be old enough to say I'm looking forward to a Sony movie. they
10
fuck
years
up they
10
fuck up
years ago, that would've gotten
Spider-Man's
me canceled.
they fuck up Spider-Man so many times. I could never have imagined myself going, I cannot wait to see a Spider-Man movie,
It
man.
it I have to believe that the writers for actors and then
Mhm.
the writers for,
Mhm.
like, animation
Mhm.
are just generally different mindset writers.
Yeah.
Because
No,
the writers for animation are some of
yeah.
the most beautifully written pieces of art I've ever seen. Look
Yeah.
at Studio Ghibli sometimes.
Yeah.
Well, they're basic, but they're so beautiful to just watch,
Yeah.
see it, like hear it. And then what the fuck was this shit with the last season of Game of Thrones?
I kind of like it. I mean, like it's all right.
It
It's not the
was the pivot
it's not
was too
it's not the
it was too
best.
fast.
It's not the
The
best.
last season was too fast.
Yeah, it's not the best, but it's okay. The funny thing is, and this is related and unrelated in the same time. You see that show that's playing in the background? Do you know what that is?
um, Foster's Home for Imaginary Friends.
Clone High, motherfucker. Clone High, man. You
Clone
remember
High?
Clone High? When they
No.
clone all world leaders and they
Oh,
made them
that show. No,
Clone High.
that 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 sounded like a fever dream to me. I
Clone
didn't believe
High.
it.
Fucking amazing. I've been watching it, man. Amazing. Anyways, Clone High is back. HBO Max took it. HBO Max, guys, it's still 12.99. So
12.99.
uh
Isn't it 14.99?
it's 14.99, guys. Still 14.99.
14.99.
So Clone High is back. Guess who is one of the writers in Clone High?
Pedro Pascal.
Phil Lord. And you know who's the
Oh.
writer of Across the Spider Verse? Phil fucking Lord, man.
So it's going to be actually good.
Amazing. So,
Amazing.
so I saw the trailer for Miles Morales Enter the Spider Verse, and I could not been any happier, man. I think that is a movie that I would definitely watch.
I am
Um,
a little bummed out in comic news specifically that Chip Zdarsky's run for Daredevil's gonna end.
yeah,
That was a good
Trips
run.
is gonna, yeah, but we'll talk about that a little bit later. But yeah, Across the Spider Verse, fucking amazing. I'm gonna definitely watch that. The fact that the fact that they have a Spider-Man psychiatrist and Spider-Man
And
is
then my
talking to
uncle
this,
died. Uh-huh.
and, and then he's talking to a Spider-Man psychiatrist. Spider-Man is talking to Spider-Man's psychiatrist and he goes, and then I saw Uncle Ben. Let me guess. He died.
And then they all broke through.
Because, like, you can just imagine how many Spider Man he has to see because of Uncle Ben dying.
It's like he relives his own drama and he's just bored of it. He went
It's
from
like,
empathetic to apathetic real quick by the
oh,
1400 one.
oh my god. Uh,
Oh, by the way, like, everyone, capture Spider-Man. You?
you, never gonna get old, man.
It's so
Like,
good.
somehow they found a way to put
To-
that in there, and it's
They
just
made it even funnier.
yeah, they even made it funny. It's like the most funniest thing ever. But yeah, I mean, like in terms of comic book wise, UF4, which is first Miles Morales, has gone up in price again. So all of a sudden, my price is not as crazy because I have UF4 9.8, and my price isn't as crazy anymore. Because the asking price for some people are like way more than that. way more than what I'm selling it for. Drip Shop Live, you guys can see it there. But yes, to transition into like comic book wise, yes, I have seen the news about Chip Zdarsky and ending his Daredevil run. And
Same.
Chip Zdarsky is amazing writer, amazing fucking writer, but he's
He
transitioning to
will be
something
still
else.
on Batman until 2025, though.
Yeah, he's still on Batman.
So 2 more
So
years.
it's still there. So Chip Zdarsky is still a pretty big deal in there. I think that there's like a second wave of independent books that's coming out too as well. There's a lot of independent books that's gonna be coming out, especially a new publishing company that came out too as well, which I'm so glad that it came out. It's from the creators, co-creators, or executives of Comixology. They were one of the ones who first started Comixology. Let me see if I can find it here. Comixology new publishing company.
Comic publishing. Otherwise, it won't come up.
There you go. So Comixology, there you go. So TechCrunch right there. Comixology veteran David Steinberg and Chip something. Okay, let me share this. I'm
It
just like I'm just butchering it now.
how you
Like
do it.
I'm just like butchering it now. Okay, hold on. Let me share the screen. So let me see that. Here we go. Right there. You see it? Right there. So, Comixology veterans David Steinberger and Chip Mollisher launches new comic book publishing company. So that's the new comic book publishing company. One of a few. There are a few comic book artists and writers that are co-founders of this, and one of the most prominent one is Scott Snyder, which is which is not a surprise because he did have a deal with Comixology with all those Scott Snyder stuff. So it's right here. According to the release, the following artists and writers are founding creators. So you got Scott Snyder right here, right? And you also have Tula Lotay, and then you have James Tinian. So those are two big ones already: Scott Snyder, James Tinian.
Tiny onion.
Tiny onions. That's why this is why the reason why he left. What was the platform that he was on before? James Tinian. I forgot what it was called. He was on the platform. It was like a
The
crowdfunding
the the
platform.
the the, the subscription based one.
Yes, I forgot what it was called. Do you remember what it was called? It was
It's not
something.
Kickstarter.
No, it was something else. Kind of like Cripstarter. But anyways, James Tinian.
Newsletters, something like that.
Yeah, something like that. James Tinian is there, another founding creator. Ram V, which is doing great stuff in Detective Comics. Here's another big one. Mirka Adolfo, man. And John L. Jones. If you guys don't know who John L. Jones is, she's freaking amazing. She did Catwoman. She did an amazing run. And here are two big ones, two huge ones. Jock and Brian Azzarello. Wow. That is a fucking dream team. Brian Azzarello, man. So it's called DSTLRY. I think I'm pronouncing that correctly. It's spelled it's spelled DSTLRY. DSTLRY. DSTLRY? How do you pronounce that, Lewis? How would
I
you pronounce
can't
that?
I can't even see the word.
It's right here.
You want
You see it? See it right here? You see it? Right here. You see it?
Distry?
This
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 distillery distillery is something. Oh man, I can't even pronounce it. But that is the new publishing.
I think they just weirdly acronym distillery.
Yeah, distillery. There you go, distillery. So essentially, they started their own independence in there. So it's gonna be really good, man. It's gonna be really good, in my opinion. And we'll see if we can get some of those people tried onto the show and like talk about it or something, man. We'll see. But I think it's gonna be a really good venture. That's something to watch out for. So there's big things that's going to be coming from those guys. So um Along with Frank Miller. Frank Miller started his own publishing company too as well. You already knew about that. Did you order some Frank Miller publishing books
Um,
like Ronin too?
I did Ronin 2. I got like like just see where like people's interests were,
Uh huh.
and I'll see where that goes in a couple months.
Right. So there's Ronin too. And then there's that distillery too as well. So it's gonna be really good for independents coming this year, especially when the con season started up and running too as well. But speaking of comic book publishing, did you hear about the controversy that was circulating around the interwebs till this day?
That's incredible. No, I didn't. What is it? Because I'm supposed to take interest in shock.
It was all in the weekend. It started on Friday. So there was a comic book store or
Hmm.
shop or online store that sells online streaming online that was selling a cover of Harley Quinn, you know, half naked, half
Okay.
naked Harley Quinn, and selling it as if it was an exclusive variant for DC Comics. Okay. But what it turns out, it was not an exclusive variant cover. It was actually a sketch cover that was done by the artist, and this guy tried to pass it off as it was an exclusive variant cover, selling it for premium price. It was a stolen. It's basically stolen art. Did you hear about that?
No, it just sounds like they're opening themselves up for a lawsuit.
Oh boy, uh the whole stolen art thing. It was the most amazing story. I'm trying to find the story right now. Toad's Comics, stolen art, Harley Quinn. It was because the artist who did it came out and said this is not an exclusive variant cover that I did. This is a stolen art. They stole my art, right? Uh,
That's
so
wild. That's crazy.
so what ended up happening is that uh, Comics Elites, Sean from Comics Elites, interviewed this guy, and he started to say that he was sorry for it, and he said that he didn't know that it was a stolen art, and that he destroyed the rest of the copies that he did. If he would have known it was a stolen art, he would have never sold it for a premium price. Now, this is where I always say that exclusive variant covers should only be done by legitimate retailers, whether you're online or brick and mortar. Meaning that you have a tax ID, you have a diamond account, you have every single distributor accounts out there because you have a tax ID. You're the only one who should be doing exclusive variant covers because if shit like this happens. So essentially, what ended up happening was he explained the whole thing. He bought the exclusive variant covers from another person, and that person told him that this is our exclusive variant covers or specialty covers from DC Comics, and he bought them and then start selling them for a higher price. And what that guy did was he took the sketch cover and he printed a whole bunch of them. Not only that he printed a whole bunch of them, he scanned and printed it. He put the Harley Quinn title in the top, the credit for the artist and writer in the bottom, and the barcode too as well. So it looks like it's legit. That's what he made it look like. And this guy, Toad's Comics, said, okay, it looks legit. I'll buy some, right? For God's sakes, in what fucking multiverse timeline would a DC Comics approve their franchise character to be half fucking naked and say it's approved for exclusive variant covers? Let's just work off now let's just work off, not because we know things in the industry, like you and me, we know things in the industry. Let's just work things out based on goddamn basic fucking knowledge. When is the last time that you actually seen a Harley Quinn half naked produced by DC Comics? That is the first thing that you should actually that actually should come to mind. So for you to say I didn't know is fucking bullshit. It's horseshit. Am I lying, or am I like, am I telling the truth here, or am I over the, or am I
I mean,
crossing the line?
I mean, did they go through DC?
No, because it was a sketch, Lewis. The artist did a sketch
Uh
for
huh.
this guy. That guy who got the sketch, who commissioned him to do the sketch, took that sketch, scanned it, and printed a whole bunch of them and passing them off as exclusive variants. That's what he did.
That's what happened.
Mm-hmm.
Are you sure?
Based on, I'm gonna send you the link to the interview. That's what he said. That's what happens, and he said he didn't know that it was not legit.
Because if that's what happened, that's illegal, and he is liable to be sued by not only DC but also by the artist.
Yeah,
Because
and I get that, but you know for a fact DC's not gonna do it because there wasn't enough revenue to actually make money off of it.
it doesn't matter.
No,
It's the
no, it
main
does.
it's also the same.
I
It's
get
the
that.
same thing that they even Nintendo does for people that does like fan created
No,
content.
I know, I get that. I know there's some companies out there like Nintendo who would actually tell people from Twitch, say, do
Patent
not,
trolls.
yeah, do not stream our shit. I get that, but there are companies like DC and Marvel. If there isn't enough revenue to be made out of it, they'll be spending more money trying to sue them than they are trying to get back. Okay, so they're not gonna do anything. Okay, but yes, I understand they could be sued by DC. Yes, I understand that they can. Let's just get that out of the way. They can be sued by DC, but they're not going to, right? It's the fact that he passed it along as an exclusive variant cover, and Toad's Comics said, "Okay, it looks legit." What in what world do you actually look at this and go, "Yeah, it's legit"? He knew what he knew what he was doing. So all these bullshit about "I'm sorry, I didn't know," it's horseshit.
The
It's fucking
fact
horseshit.
that it came as because when you make a cover, it's one of those giant ass papers that they send
Hmm.
out for printing. That's where it
Hmm.
normally gets done. Even in
Hmm.
digitally, that'll just get passed on to DC so it can get printed and processed because stuff gets signed. But if it's
Hmm.
just like, oh, here's a sketch cover, I'm like, what am I
No,
supposed to do
but
with
the thing
this?
is, Lewis, is that there is in no way that DC would ever approve that. That
Um,
you're just
it
working off basic knowledge, Lewis. Let's just work
so
off
so his
basic,
only so
like,
so
intuition and
basically what
knowledge.
he's trying to defend himself against is
He didn't know.
n- ignorance.
Yeah.
And mm-mm, that's gonna get him screwed.
That's what I'm saying. It's never gonna fucking fly. It's not gonna fly, man. Like, you can say all you want that you didn't know. It's fucking horseshit, man. You don't have to be in the industry to actually say, "Oh, I didn't fucking know." There is no way. There's no fucking way that you didn't know. Like, we're just going by basic knowledge, man. Like, you don't have to be in the industry to know this is not legit. Okay?
I
In
mean,
what world did they ever produce a half naked Harley Quinn and say this is an exclusive variant? Do you know what I mean? There's never, man. Yeah, they did bathing suit and all that stuff, but never, man.
and
Even
lingerie.
even the bathing suit wasn't the bathing suit edition that they done. It's not even bikinis. It's like fully covered still. Remember New 52. Remember the New 52. That is the last time DC has ever done something that is close to being half naked. And it's not even the cover, it was interior. It was Red Hood and the Outlaws. Number one, the New 52. If you look at it, Starfire was like half naked and was actually doing it with Robin. And the
Oh
reason
yeah, I remember.
and the reason why is
Starfire one.
because that's how her creature actually communicate with each other through feelings, kissing and having sex and all that stuff. That's how they communicate. and how they become intimate, and that's just how they communicate with each other. And there was an uproar on that. Okay, that was the last time DC has ever done something like that, right? There's no way that they're gonna take their Harley Quinn, their most precious,
Current
one of the most precious property that they have, to be
currently.
half naked and call it exclusive variant covers. And he's like, and he told them, like, I told the company, the live selling company, he told the live selling company that, you know, to everybody, he emailed them. He claimed that he emailed them and said, you know what, give all these people who bought from me a refund. I don't want this to be a big thing. If there's a punishment, I will take it. And he said that he ripped the rest and burned them. He even showed a picture on the interview that he ripped them. Like, there's like pieces of them there. Are you telling me that those are all the books that you bought and you're like, oh, I ripped them? The only reason why he's apologizing right now, okay, is because his ass got caught. Sean caught him during his live streaming and said, why are you selling this thing? This is not an exclusive variant cover. Do not lie to the people. He got caught. And he even tried to kick out Sean during that time because he was calling him out on it.
Yeah, you can always make a new account. That's not hard.
Yeah, no, but what I'm saying is that he kicked him out because he knew what he was doing. Sean was calling him out during the sale of that book. He was calling him out and he kicked him out. He kicked him out because he knew what he was doing. Don't tell me you're apologizing because you did not know. If you did not know, you're a goddamn fucking dumbass. Plain and simple. If you're looking at this book and you go, yeah, looks legit, you're a dumbass. Okay? You're a dumbass. Do not tell people that you did not know. That's all I'm saying. You knew what you were doing. You knew how much you were selling it for, and you knew you were ripping off people. This is why I say all the time, the only people that should be doing exclusive variant covers are the legit people who actually did the work, filed the paperwork, and did everything that needs to be done legally in order to do exclusive variant covers. They are the only ones who should be doing exclusive variant covers. By at any chance you want to piggyback on their exclusive variant covers, by all means. But people who have the right paperwork should be doing exclusive variant covers. So if I want to do an exclusive variant covers and somebody who doesn't have a tax ID nor a diamond account wants to hop onto it, yes, that I fully agree on that. But do not work around the system and be like, oh, I got an exclusive variant cover.
Just because you can make a bigger buck.
Just because you make a bigger buck. I know there's companies out there, publishing companies out there, that does it, and exclusive variant covers are running rampant right now because anybody can just fucking do them, because anybody can just go to that company and be like, I want to do exclusive variant cover for this, and they just say okay, because they just want the money. Pretty much. So that's what happened over the weekend. So my question to you, Lewis, based on what I just said, do you think that he was really apologetic and sympathetic about his apology? Like, he really didn't know?
If by human nature standards, no,
By
he
any
got caught, and so he's just apologizing because that's what he believes he has to do.
Yeah,
Most people are like, "Yeah, my bad. You should just say my bad. I got caught. Won't do it again."
because
Taking it all down.
right? If he didn't get caught, he would have been selling it still.
I don't know until he sold out,
Yeah, until he sold out.
or just
No,
make
no,
more.
no. Until he gets caught, he'll sell it until he gets caught. Not until he
Yeah,
sells out.
if
I'm like,
people agree that way.
yeah, until he gets caught, he's gonna fucking do it, man. He's gonna fucking sell it until he gets caught. At 100%. Like, this is just a buyer's beware for everybody who loves getting exclusive variant covers. Okay, this is a buyer's beware. Look at the cover. If it's a half naked picture of a character that you truly love, and it says DC Comics or Marvel Comics or Image Comics, that's a bunch of bullshit. Image Comics, depending, because Image Comics does have adult stuff, depending on what it is. But
It has a
if it's
ton.
like, but if it's like a half naked, say, Walking Dead, they would never do that. Do you know what I mean? Like franchise characters, they would never do that, right? If there is a
Yeah.
franchise character and somebody comes up to you is like, "Hey, do you want this exclusive variant covers? There's boobs in there, and it's done by Marvel." Something should click in your head right away and say Marvel does not do half naked photos, exclusive variant covers of their franchise fucking characters. Like there is no way that I would see pubes on Peter Parker. You know what I mean? Like there's no way. Like you're not gonna get a Magic Mike. That which is funny though, because the closest thing to a topless that I've seen was the Magic Mike variant cover that DC did, and that was just like, did you remember
Topless?
that? Do you
No.
remember that?
He beat. Don't you remember when he took off his costume? He was basically in his underwear and he just beat the crap out of the Kingpin.
No, no, cover.
Oh, cover.
Mhm.
I
Cover.
guess, yeah.
It was the Magic Mike one. I don't know if you remember that. They did
Not
a
really.
whole movie. They did a whole movie cover, and DC produced a Magic Mike Justice League cover, and it was just like everybody with their top off, and that was about it. That was like the closest thing that I've ever seen that DC has ever done. And even if they do something like that, it would be on the press. You know what I mean? It would be on
I
the
guess.
press. It would be on the press. So that's what happened over the weekend. That was the controversy over the weekend. I just think that he was just a bunch of he's just shitting on customers' stupidity on it. I don't think it was true at all. He was shitting on people, man. It wasn't true at all.
I
So
mean, anything for a buck, right?
anything for a buck. So what do you gotta do? But yeah. So that's it for today, man. I mean, like, I got nothing else, man. That's been the week of what happened in the week of comics.
I mean,
I got nothing else unless you know something else that happened.
I have a fun load of random things I can bring up, but not content like worthy.
Not controversy as like that. Like
No.
bring up the fact that the
I
penguin
mean,
is like bring up the penguin that's coming to the Batman HBO series and all that stuff
for 14.99.
for
Um,
14.99. Yeah.
no, I got something. I would say equally stupid, but I feel like that's more like a conversation between you and me. Because this is a banger and it's stupid,
Okay.
and it's from our favorite not known publisher.
No,
But
no.
I wanna say this for an actual just conversation between you and me because we're just gonna make fun of it for like 40 minutes.
For like 40 minutes straight.
It's pretty good. It's pretty good.
All right, well then I want to hear about this. So we're gonna end this
All right,
podcast in there though. So
alrighty.
uh keep in mind, guys, just a reminder, if you go ahead and sign up to our sponsor this week, Drip Shop Live, and receive 15% $15 credits free on your first purchase in there. The link's on the bio there on our Spotify account and also on our YouTube channel. Remember, it's Drip Shop Live, dripshop.live. You can actually download them on the Apple Store or in the Android playlist. It's a live selling app built by collectors for collectors. Lewis, any last words for our people here?
I'm glad this podcast started with, "Hey, did you ever wonder why Lewis's contact says Lewis volunteer and we never actually went through with why you do?" Okay, we can hang
No,
that up there. No,
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 but
hang it up there. It is now our 4.99 for our Patreon extra credit scenes and why that's a thing.
just so that you know what it is.
Bye.
Again, you guys could have been anywhere in the world, but you're here with us. I appreciate that. We will see you guys next episode. Peace out, guys.
Maybe. Bye.